So we have a field that's attached to our property that they came and mowed. That's all they're doing is mowing. So we decided to do the on a budget homestead thing and collect the valley grass, because that's all they do is they take this valley grass and they put it into bales, but they're not doing that with this. So we're taking our little Hank, filling him full. I came out and raked, and he's been taking piles back and forth and putting them on the garden where, sorry, I'm super out of breath, where we need mulch, and we actually don't want some things to grow right now. So this is a good way to get some free stuff, and it works really well. So we'll see if we can get this one more last pile on there, and then we'll head on home. He ties it down so it doesn't fall off. And our home is, see that roof over there? That's the barn. So we're just down our driveway. We have a 1/4 mile driveway, and this is the field that nothing is done to. In fact, there's a really sad story about this field. We had asked him if we could paddock it off and put a couple of grower cows on it, and he said no, he doesn't want any animals on his property. So this just sits here dormant, and it grows up and nothing happens to it. They come and mow it down and walk away. The apple trees that are in it are completely neglected, and so we're gonna at least harvest some of the apples this year, but it's really sad. It's just a huge piece of property that is wasted. And for a homesteader, that's a sad thing. We want to show you what we did to the garden this morning from the hay that we brought out of the field. So we put it covering this whole area here that isn't planted yet, and then we covered the potatoes with it a little bit more, which are covered by our pumpkins and our squash. Yeah, lots of pumpkins and squash. Anyway, this is what we got this morning for free for just doing the work. Well, I'm hot. He's up there. He's hot. We just finished a really long task. This morning we told you that we got some hay for free. So then we had a senior friend call up, and she was getting a new deck and asked us if we wanted all of her old deck wood. So this is our other find that we got. Quite amazing. We've got long ones, middle-sized ones, and 2x4 ones. Pretty great find, and it was free. Another great homesteading deal. Need water.
We want to talk about 5 things that we would do different if we could have a do-overs.
That's right. Since we're standing in the garden, we may as well start with the squash. As we showed you earlier, the squash has taken over the garden, and the pumpkins, and the cucumbers, and the watermelon. Well, so what would you do different?
Something in our defense, okay? We knew that you zoomed it in.
I zoomed it in. There we go.
Something in our defense, we knew that squash and pumpkins and watermelon and all of those tend to spread themselves a bit.
And so, we weren't going to put them in here.
We weren't going to put them in here. We weren't getting the other garden dug up. So we had to put them somewhere, and
we're like, oh well, let's just do it.
We did them as starts. They were ready to go. We had nowhere to put them, and so we put them here. There's really not enough room for them. But in addition to that, they are going bigger and further than we thought they
They're
would.
monsters.
I mean, we've had them go a long way before, but not like this. So
I planted them far apart.
anyway, let's go on to the next one.
Okay, so that's number 1.
Number 2 is
Still in the garden.
still in the garden. One thing that we didn't do is have the garden ready to go before we started planting. We had little bits and pieces, but we didn't have the whole thing ready. So we were scrambling and not getting it done as well as we wanted. And part of that was we didn't have the irrigation system in place. And that hurt us.
And so if
It
you
slowed
could
us
do it
down.
again, you would do what?
I would
Make sure the irrigation is in place and the soil is prepared.
Yeah. Find something, make it a higher priority.
Yeah.
Let some other things go undone and get that done.
Yeah. Now, number 3. That said, let's look at our little chickens here who are doing a dust bath. Chickens. We don't believe that you need to wait forever to get your chickens. The chickens are our backbone of our homestead.
If we had waited until we had everything ready to go, perfect, and the house, all the brooder, the on and on,
We wouldn't have chickens.
we probably wouldn't be there yet.
So,
Here's the way we do it. We go buy the chickens, and then we come home and figure out how to brood them, and then as they're growing, we realize we have to have a house or something for them, so then we figure out what we're going to do for that.
and then we put in haphazard things like the turkeys got too big for the roost and it broke on them in the middle of the night.
We knew that was going to happen.
Anyhow.
It's actually a way
so-
to know how much they weigh.
So those are all things that we wouldn't do over. I mean, we wouldn't redo that part. The part we would redo is when we first got our chickens last year, well, we got 90 babies at the same time.
We had a good deal though, like
But we had ordered 45,
right.
and then somebody gave us 50.
Yeah.
APA, we went to the APA workshop, and one of their sponsors gave everybody 50 chickens.
Including the shipping. So
Yeah.
it was.
So that's the part we would do over. We wouldn't buy so many that you're overwhelmed by the amount that you have.
Free didn't turn out to be free.
Like,
They ate a lot.
I was
Although
gonna-
we sold a lot.
Like I was gonna buy 2 turkeys and I bought 12. Oops. So that's the part I would do over. Okay.
yeah,
So-
yeah. Don't buy in multiples of what you plan to do. Maybe a few more, but not multiples.
Okay, so number 4. Do you remember number 4?
Yeah. What was it?
I remember. And this one's kind of iffy. We would buy instead of rent. Now, we couldn't buy. We weren't ready to buy. And so that means we wouldn't have it. But we can't
Or
do it.
if we were to, we would make certain when we're renting that we would be able to do the things we want to do.
Because we can't do everything we want to do here. He won't let us. And that makes us sad. We can't do pigs and we can't do beef. And there's tons of land. It's not like there isn't land. But, so to do over
And it's not
again.
like we'd be disturbing anybody.
No, because we were going to do the pigs very permaculturally. Anyhow, so that's another thing we would do different. Number 5. We're going to back up 40 years.
45 years.
45 years. We weren't married 45 years ago.
We would start planning though.
We've almost been married 45 years. We would have got a homestead when we first got married and raised our children out in the country and done this from day one.
Yeah.
We love the little families that are doing that. It's so wonderful to watch. And this is so much a part of our hearts and our life. And we love every single minute of it. We wish we'd done it in the last 45 years.
Yep.
So those are our 5 things we would do over. We absolutely are not calling them mistakes. They're not mistakes. They're just things we would do differently.